When I was about 3 or 4, there was a man in his 30s who lived with his parents in my neighbourhood named Darryl. He was known all around the neighbourhood for his eccentric behaviour, as he was declared schizophrenic from his heavy use of drugs. He would talk to himself, play air guitar for hours on the street, and scream obscenities at nothing. He was also very into little girls, and used to wait outside the bus stop just to watch them get off. My mother is a probation officer, and he was quite popular at court, so whenever he was walking down the street, she would yell for us to come inside. One time, my mum threw out some old toys of ours, like pink fuzzy bows, wands and tiaras. She heard someone rummaging in the trash at night, but didn't go out to investigate. The next day, Darryl shows up to court for some charge of another, and the bow and tiara we threw out. He even said to my mum,
"You can find such nice stuff in people's trash cans."
That freaked her out because the way he said it implied that he knew where she lived. A few weeks later, my mum's outside and Darryl approaches her. A week before that, there was a murder at a nearby hotel of a young woman. Darryl said to her,
"Hey, did you hear about that murder at the hotel?"
My mum tells him that yes, she knew. He smiled from ear to ear and just said,
"She had 3 little girls too."
He just walked away and laughed to himself. My mum was so creeped out and unnerved that he might have had something to do with the murder, though we moved shortly after. We never saw him again after that, but his mum shot herself in the house and his father moved out, so I'm pretty sure Darryl isn't around the city anymore. Also, as far as I know, the murder was never solved. It's safe to say that I hope we never meet again. I don't really remember this happening, so I'm telling you what my mum told me, and it certainly freaks me out every time I hear it. My mum had taken me shopping to our local supermarket when I was 4. She did her best to make sure I stayed close while she put things in the trolley. At some point she became distracted for no more than a minute and hadn't noticed I had wandered off. She has still never forgiven herself for that. She told me she's never felt fear like it, not knowing where I had gone. She began running down the aisle, and when she turned the corner, she saw a woman holding my hand and walking quite fast toward the supermarket doors. My mum said she shouted my name, and when I turned around, the woman let go and ran out the shop. She described the woman as entirely normal looking, and she never expected anything like this to happen. Over the years, my mum has always thought about this as being the worst moment of her life. I'm not a mother yet, but I know these things can happen. Kids wander, and all it takes is a split second, and we got lucky. I was about 2 or 3 years old when this happened, so I don't remember it, only what my mum has told me. It started when my mum and stepdad invited some guy in to visit with them. I guess things were going well, until he asked,
"How much do you want for her?"
Thinking that he was playing, they jokingly told him, "She's worth more than you got." A few minutes later, he said,
"I'll give you $300 for her."
Still thinking he was joking, they said no. Again, the offer went up until he reached $900. That's when they knew he wasn't playing and that he truly did want to buy me. They got pissed, and my stepdad picked the guy up and tossed his ass outside and down the stairs, all the while yelling and cussing him out. Thank God they finally realised what a creeper he was, and did not leave me alone with him. So, creepy dude who tried to buy me, let's not ever meet again. My boyfriend is in a band, and my sister and I always go to the gigs. He lives in a small city outside a larger city that he always plays in. and we were heading to his house afterwards. My sister and I decided it would be funny to buy him a card, like a child's birthday card, and scratch half out to make it fit for the first gig of the year. We go to Walmart, and as soon as we get inside, we're followed by two men, both in their mid to late 20s. My sister and I are 18 and 20 respectively. I've been followed in places before, and it's always an uncomfortable experience, so we try to lose them. We eventually do, after fast walking through random aisles for 10 minutes. We buy the card and some snacks and head back out to the car. We sit in the parking lot for a bit as we scratch out what we wanted to on the card, and start to head over to my boyfriend's house. But the guys were watching us from across the parking lot, and peel across it to follow us out. At this point, I notice, and I am really freaking out. My boyfriend's house is not on a busy road, so we know they're not just happening to go the same way. I call my boyfriend about halfway to his house. The two guys are following us very closely. I explain to him what's happening, so he comes outside and waits for us on his porch. We pull into his driveway and stay in the car for a minute. The two guys drive by really slowly and then speed down the street. My sister and I go inside, really shaken up. We notice for the next half hour or so, the guys drive by several times, each time really slowly. We lock the doors and windows and pull up all the blinds, and that night we slept in the living room. So, creepy Walmart guys who decided to follow us home, let's not meet. Well guys, as promised, another Friday upload, unless I was late and uploaded this on Saturday, which I hope I didn't. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.